Good morning. It is the fifth day. No, actually, it's the sixth day of the first of the year 2022. So it's the sixth day of the year 2022. And so this week, my goal has been helping you to set your mind to miracles because we all start the year with this great hope that this year is going to be better than next year. But I fully understand that nothing changes until you change. So listen, I was talking to my new client last night and I was sharing with her as she is starting to build her new business that the only thing that usually get in our way of doing anything is us. Like we have these beliefs that there are all of these obstacles in the world that stops us from being great, being free, having the money we want, having the love and the relationships we want. We we have these thoughts and beliefs, and because perhaps we've had some experiences in our past that has contributed to the thinking we believe is true. But what I want you to know is that this year, the only thing that's going to stop you from accomplishing and achieving the goals that you want to accomplish and achieve is you. It is not some outside force. It is not because it's not your time. It is not um, the man or the haters. It's none of that. You may think it's that. You may have these experiences, but ultimately it is you. And so the reason I teach the miracle mindset, the reason I'm constantly talking about this, the reason I've dedicated this whole week, and I may even talk about it a little bit more next week, is because I want you to understand that you really can accomplish the dreams and the goals you have for this year. 6 days in, I don't want you to start already deciding to give up. I don't want you to decide already that, you know what, forget the eating plan that you're on. I'm going to go ahead on and have that piece of cake. I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to start thinking that the dream is impossible, that nothing ever changes. Those are only thoughts. And when you begin to, good morning, Nat, when you begin to realize that you are the issue, the problem, the thing that's stopping you, the good news in that is if you, the person that's stopping you, you're the person who can now take control of your mind, your thoughts, your life, and begin to create the life you want. You are that powerful. So in the miracle mindset, I talked about this all week. So if you haven't, if this is your first time watching the video, make sure you go back and watch the other one so you learn about the miracle. Miracle, the M stands for meditation. The importance of learning how to meditate to quiet your mind. I is for imagination. You have to begin to visualize the life you want, because once you begin to do that, I see your visions as God's clues to what He has for you. So when you begin to really focus on what it is you want to have and not what you don't want to have, there's this energy that happens. There's also a special part in your brain that draws it to you. People call it the law of attraction, but believe it or not, it's like a God designed thing in your brain. R is for reading. I encourage you to read every day. Now, I also have used R to talk about responsibility. You being responsible for your own thoughts, your own behaviors, your own emotions. You have to learn to be responsible for those things. And A today is what we're talking about is affirmation. I want you to learn to affirm. L is for love and listing out your goals. I'm sorry, C is for committing to your goals. L is for loving, listing them out. E is for exercising. But today we're focusing on A, to affirm. Listen, the way we all grow up, whether you had a good childhood or bad childhood, average childhood, whatever it is, when we grew up, we all began to learn life and learn to process based on the experiences that we were having. It's a very subconscious thing. Like our thoughts begin to build, our world begin to build. I call it YOU, stands for your own universe. You begin to build in your own heart and your mind the world the way you see it. Like we all think that the way I've been taught a thing is the way the world either should be or believes, until we start learning differently. And then when we encounter people who think differently than us, our first knee-jerk reaction is something's wrong with them. Like if they weren't taught these out. So a small lesson that I was taught when I was growing up is my grandmother used to teach us that when you enter into a room, you are the person who's supposed to say hello. And so I thought this was a universal belief. I thought that everybody in the world knew that when if you enter the room, you're supposed to be the one to say hello. Well, in my work environment years ago, working for a television station, when people would come into my space and not say hello, my mind would just get all mentally aggressive where I'm thinking, what kind of person are they? How are they gonna come in here and don't say hi? They just rude. Like I would just build this whole story. Until one day, I was sitting with a few coworkers and we began to, I don't even know how it came up, but we began to talk about it. And one of the guys said to me, that's interesting. I was taught the very opposite. I was taught that when you enter a room and there's a person in the room, they supposed to greet you first. And it just blew my mind. Like it shocked me. Like, what? So many times we build for ourselves or because of life or what we've been taught in the past, we hold true to what we've been taught. But we have to learn how to break those cycles in our mind. And here's what happens in the brain. The brain will begin to build neurological, I think it's called, centers where it's embedded in our brain. So there are some thoughts and beliefs that you hold about yourself. You know, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I ain't never been able to do this. You know, this is real hard for me. People don't understand. I struggle with this. I'm a slow reader. Like that's something I say often. I'm a slow reader. The good news with that is that we have audiobooks now. So I just listen to all my books. But we have all of these little things we say about ourselves. I can't imagine myself going to that place. What if I go and nobody want me there? Like these are the thoughts I used to really struggle with. I used to struggle with the belief and the thought that because I'm a black woman, I'm not going to be able to, stand on stages, share what I know with people. People aren't going to let me help them. Only black people are going to let me help them. And then black people can't afford what I do. Like these were the thoughts that I used to have all the time, I promise you. Until I learned to affirm the power of affirmation. So the power of affirmation is you begin to say out loud every day the experiences you want to have. It's rewiring your brain. It literally is this is amazing. You can begin to say and speak the kind of life you want. Yes, someone says they need to affirm. You absolutely do. Oh, it's so sweet. It's so sweet. And I'll talk to you guys maybe in a different video about tapping because I used to affirm and tap, but that's another conversation. I only have a few more minutes left on this one. But listen, when you begin to affirm what you want to see in life and you say it as though you are speaking like it's already exists. So, okay, here's an affirmation that I used to do because when we first moved to China, I got a job as a counselor. Now, honestly, in my own heart and mind, I didn't think I was equipped for this job. But I had learned, because I started learning this miracle mind way of thinking, that if God brought it to me, then I'm already prepared for it. I learned to look at all of my past experiences, even if it didn't look like a counselor, that God had used those experiences to prepare me for this moment. So I knew that. So therefore, I said yes to this job that I didn't think I would qualify for. But now I had to go into these meetings where I was going to be the only person in the meeting who didn't have a counselor degree. I was the only person in the meeting who looked like me, right? And so my first instinct was the old Kenesha mind that was like, girl, you ain't supposed to be in here. They're going to know you're a hack. Just go sit in that corner and be quiet. But I knew I needed to learn from these people. So guess what? Because in China, they would hire me a driver to drive me to these meetings, the school would. I would sit in the back of the car because by then I had learned the power of affirmation. And my affirmation became, I am an amazing woman. And the people in the room are amazing people. They can't wait to see what makes me amazing, and I can't wait to see what makes them amazing. And this became the affirmation I would do every time I had to go into a room with new people. I'm an amazing woman. And they can't wait to find out what makes me amazing. Because I had a thing where I would enter into a room with new people and I would go quiet, particularly if no one in the room looks like me. If there wasn't another African American in the room, I would go quiet. I wouldn't talk. I would say hi. People would even say, oh, you're soft-spoken. And I never thought of myself as soft-spoken. Because what happens in our mind and our brain when we think like this, right? it becomes our nature, it becomes our behavior. So many times the things we're saying, oh, well, that's just my personality. That's not your personality. That's your false beliefs controlling your life. People say, oh, I'm just shy. Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's the thoughts and beliefs they have about being shy that makes them shy. You can affirm yourself. You can learn to think new thoughts. So when I started my coaching practice, I read the book Think and Grow Rich. It's a great book. I really encourage you to read the book. All of the books I read about earning money, getting rich, wealthy, it all talks about, every one of them. I read several. They all talk about the power of your thinking. Every one of the books. And so in this book, they would say things like what you believe about money. Right? And so I grew up hearing things like, you got to work hard for money. You got to work hard for money. Money don't grow on trees. So you begin to hear those things, and it becomes your heart wiring where you think, I got to work hard for money. So listen, for 10 years, I worked for a television station as a graphic designer. I love my job. But do you know, because I didn't know this way of thinking back then, for 10 years, I felt guilty every day because I was not working hard for money. I was getting paid a great sum of money to go to work every day and have a blast, to have a good time. So much so, because I had the belief I had to work hard for money, I felt so guilty every day. I used to say, oh my God, Andre, they're going to fire me when they find out how much money they're paying me to color. Because being a graphic designer, it literally felt like I was a kid coloring in my favorite coloring book. Because I had a belief that was very opposed to my reality. And no one had taught me at that time that the way I was thinking was interfering with me being able to enjoy my reality. So you have to begin to learn to think the way, one, you need to recognize, how am I thinking? What do I think? This is why I'm always teaching, like my awakening program, my new program, the Blueprint to You, is because I want to awaken you to your thinking. But this 21-day mindset is a great program to start the process. And so when I begin to learn that in reading those books, one of the affirmations I used to say is, money flows to me easily. Money flows to me easily. Money can't wait to come to me. And listen, because I talk like that, think like that, believe like that, live like that, can I tell you all something? This week, my miracle, one of the miracles that happened, and like Andre, I get the whole family involved. We received a check in the mail this week where it said, like, I guess at some point we overpaid our taxes. Here's what's beautiful about the check we received. It was like over $200 and plus, right? Unexpected money showed up in our mailbox. Money comes to me easily. We had to buy a new car this year. The taxes on that car is due. The check was the amount of money to cover the new car. Money flows to me easily. So when you begin to think like this, experience, reprogram your mind, say to yourself, I have a beautiful body. Begin to speak what you want to see. I'm in a loving relationship. Oh my God, my husband don't owe me every day. I'm so grateful, God, for these wonderful kids. You begin to speak what you want. You don't speak what you don't want. And whether it's like 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 3 minutes in your morning, I really encourage you to begin to do it in the morning, because there's something magical about the morning. It's before all of the life confusion can come into your mind and overconsume you with things. So listen, I am not playing with you all. I'm not joking. I'm not making this up. Learn to affirm, learn to say and speak to yourself what it is you want to see. Learn to speak the experiences you want to have. If you're the type of person who says, but Kenesha, I'm afraid all the time, I want you to start speaking. I am courageous. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I was created to do great things. I win awards. Like, begin to say that I own companies. I run businesses. You have to begin to believe it in here, in your heart, in your mind, before you can experience it out in life. Because when you get the experience without the belief, you will self-sabotage. You will do all you can to destroy the thing you have. Here I was working a job I love, feeling guilty every day. So in a way, I was creating chaos in all these other areas of my life. because my deepest belief was I was not enough. That was my deepest belief. So I had to begin to work on that. Here's the thing. Here's the good news. And I'm at my 15 minutes, so I'm about to close it up. Here's the good news. The truth of the matter is, none of us think we're good enough. None of us. I'm reading Will Smith's book. Will Smith, after he became the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, after he began to do his television show, even like to recently, this man who has accomplished a lot, who's earned billions, millions of dollars, I guess. I don't know his money, but has earned millions of dollars, who we see in great movies, said that for most of his life, he believed himself not to be good enough. So you know what that told me? That no one, Oprah, Tyler, um, Tony Robbins, everyone at some point struggles with the belief that they're not good enough. But the difference is, it's a thought that they've learned that it doesn't matter I think this, it doesn't matter I feel this, I'm going to show up and be great anyway. And that's what you have to learn to do. You begin to affirm yourself. You begin to believe it in your own heart and mind. You begin to say it long enough where your brain believes it. And then it will begin to create these miracle situations around you, and you step into your greatness. That's what you're called to do. So I hope this has been a blessing to you, and this has helped you in any way. Please share this out. So someone has asked me, why can't I share? So here's the truth. I don't know the magic of Instagram yet, but I think you can tag people in it. I think that's how it works on Instagram. You can tag people in it. If you haven't already, you can go and get my link for the free ebook on miracle mindset. If you think to yourself, I want to know more about this thing Kenesha's talking about, my ebook, Miracle Mindset, you can learn more. But if you're really ready to dig in and do the work, to walk this program, right? If you're like, okay, I want a miracle mindset, I want to begin to practice this way of thinking, get the program. It's $97. Like, can you imagine at the beginning of the year, the 6th day into January, you pay for a program that costs you $97, and then within just 21 days before the month is over, if you buy the program today, before the month is over, you've already learned how to wire your mind so that you have the best year that you ever have. So I really encourage you to get the program. So thanks so much. If you're on Facebook, the information should be down or around the comment area. If you're on Instagram, it's in my bio. But if you do not see it in my bio, because Instagram, I haven't learned to master it, let me know. I will send you the link right into your inbox. All right. So have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad someone says, love hearing you talk. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking time to listen. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.